Hello, hello. Welcome to my playlist Stop the War. We are going to talk about the global themes, global challenges, faking, staged things, crisis in Europe, scandal in Australia from yesterday with the radioactive material wake up the planet Earth. So as well, we're going to check a prediction about the what's in front of us about that East Europe crisis, Australia thing, is it stage or not? Of course, it's stage. Do check out the short versions. I already downloaded the short version on TikTok and YouTube. So welcome the short by hitting a like. Support my short versions because it takes time to download even this one. It's a free news, and guys, we have to break the mainstream media and spread the news, spread the truth. So back to the teams. Stop the war. As I must say, comparing with some other, I respect all the tarot readers. Again, they are my sister and brothers. But again, I do have a priority in politics readings, literally from people who are as well educated in these social studies, geopolitics, like I am. Again, another thing, if person is a full-time medium and having a visions, that's another thing. But when there are the so-called mediums of a YouTube and TikTok selling us the stories that they just see from a box from a mainstream media that the government is serving us, this is hilarious when you have a medium that they're serving us the news that we see only on the mainstream medias, and it's really sad as well. And I must remind you guys of warning that it's as well a bad karma if you spread the news just as a psychic spiritual person. You're faking and you're spreading the news just what you're told by your government. It's literally as well unfair because as well to support people who are as well to tell the stories and support people who are Nazis and torturing somebody in the middle of the war. Of course, it's not a good karma. And just a warning, just a spoiler or a warning for somebody of my colleagues because they do like to read my news. Of course, it's a challenge for them. Uh, Again, guys, it's pretty boring, but because if you're the medium that fake medium that you're just reading the mainstream media and you start a team by just reading what's on your TV or on your computer screen, like wow, so sad of you. Again, you're faking. Today, we are going to talk as well about who are faking again, a people, a global elite, that they are literally war profiteers, that they are literally somehow after that thing happened in Davos, Elon Musk is posing about the Economic Forum. Here it is another scandal, Rio Tinto. Again, I'm going to tell the story that again, if you didn't know, I'm going to repeat that Rio Tinto is what? Of course, a part of the World Economical Forum, of course. And literally, a CEO of Rio Tinto was there having a speech in Davos last week in January 2023, because we are talking now when this is a live stream, which will turn to a video recorded. Today is the 31st January, I should remind you. So these are all fresh news as well. The day ago in Australia happened that a news that radioactive capsule that is like less than 1 centimeter, like 8 millimeters, uh, capsule with such a strong radioactive material that is a 10 times stronger than any bomb. What I understand, literally is lost on a highway in Western Australia. Lost and never found. That's what I'm going immediately to tell you, never to be found. And I have made a short version, so you're welcome to check the first short version. And definitely from this live stream, we are going to make a few more for sure. So stay tuned and enjoy this live stream. Uh, Again, fake news a part of the proxy war. Proxy war mediums. That will be my first one. So here it is. We go for Rio Tinto. Let me write immediately, guys. Bear with me. So, like I said, uh, Rio Tinto has published apology to Australia because they have just lost somewhere on the highway in Western Australia. Uh, they have lost radioactive capsule that is about wherever it's finished. It can finish even in some of the vehicle under the wheels of a running vehicles on the same highway that can literally destroy the surrounding. And that's what little Rio Tinto was doing all the time, in literally doing their own business and literally bringing the bad karma and operating in 35 countries till now. So thanks God that one of the rare countries, one of the rare, because there are a few of them as well, that they were still fighting. Their citizens are brave and they are fighting and protesting against the Rio Tinto company inside of their country. Uh, One of the countries that rejected them, and that was a big thing last few years, was rejected the project of Rio Tinto in the middle of South Europe, in Serbia, ex-Yugoslavia. And great thing that this country has done, confronting World Economic Forum, confronting Europe community pressures, and of course, Rio Tinto was cancelled there. Thanks God that is cancelled somewhere. Is that a good news? Like Novak Djokovic has as well rejected vaccine and still doing the great job, and won a literally 2 days ago a trophy in the same country in Australia. Just think about this. So, like, wherever we have a disbalance, because this same person, Novak Djokovic, was in Australia last year, exactly in January, doing the same thing, but being so unjust, being literally in injustice, cancelled, put first in a quarantine on the airport with other people, immigrants, or whoever had the trouble with their own visa, even if he had a full invitation letter and full visa, because he wouldn't be available to travel, to be on a flight, if he didn't have a visa in his passport. I must remind you, as a travelogue, an experienced travelogue with a lot of visa in my passport, I must say, from a very strange countries, literally. Visa, sometimes you wait for 1 week, sometimes for 1 month. If it's arriving in from another, if there's no embassy where you are and you have to travel somewhere, and you're in the middle of even not in your country, and you have to send even the passport to another country to get a visa and return. So sometimes it's a process that you wait for 1 month. I must say, even if he's celebrity, he got the visa and he was there, and they done this bad karma with him. And here it is again. He's arriving. He's again not vaccinated this time. They had to treat him well. And what he done? He won the trophy. Is that the karma balancing? What do you think? Uh, and is he the only person that won all these trophies in Australia in a record? Of course, he's still holding that record. And is he, Novak Djokovic, the person that rejected to rejected the British passport, and Australia is a part of the Commonwealth. And was this a game of foolish politics of Commonwealth dash UK? For sure it is. And who is the most cruel with him in the critics? Of course, that same country journalist. And again, was the karma served? Is it a justice served? Because when he returned this year, it was really a brilliant. He was. I'm getting literally a spirit with me, guys. Like I'm getting literally a goosebumps. Like wow, it's like I'm really chilled now because it seems like there was. I just remember how the people were crying together with him when he won the trophy, and why they were crying. It was not like a happy cry. It was a cry because of injustice, what happened last year, and I'm crying almost to cry now, right? And they named him King of Melbourne, I think. Was that thing. So just one small story introduction comparing with what as well happening with being daring in the middle of the World War Three. That's probably starting with that SOVID lockdowns, right? And Wuhan crisis, even November 2019. Exactly. And is it the world origin in the World War Three? Of course it is. And are we officially, with everything being stopped and being in a lockdown from March 2020, are we all planet uh, in a World War Three? Of course it is. And as well, is it the war in East Europe just happening to poor gray zone of Donbas and other four totally four republics based on the west side of Ukraine, the pro-Russian zone, and or is this happening to all Ukraine Russians and all the planet because we are all suffering? Of course it is. And should we pray every day for the war to be stopped and this war profiteers greediness to be stopped? And was it always the same thing repeating in the first, second, and the third war? Because finding the fake motives, uh, making a stage uh, excuse for starting the conflicts between the third parties, but not directly you, and that confronting economical power. Of course, it was always repeating the same. And I'm talking as a professor of history, as well as a writer, more than 30 years in geopolitics. Yes, I was writing about geopolitics literally, guys, from the age of 13 I was published, yes, in elementary school as well. My other adult family members were writing all life about this. So I'm proud to be a part of this as well. My next generations, right? Probably my chihuahuas are going to write as well about this, being on the side of the peace against the war anywhere, and as well against injustice of using the resources of any country and just using them for your own personal greediness. So, uh, is that a part of the war profiteers? Is it a part of the economical elite, this rich elite with the World Economical Forum group? And who is behind Rio Tinto? So story goes back to the Rothschild. It's so interesting, guys, if you didn't know, because a Rio Tinto CEO that was last week in Davos on a World Economical Forum, Jacob Stockholm, yes, he's now CEO, but Is there conspiracy theory or is it real? Because definitely I'm talking about your conspiracy theory, but with the true background with geopolitical. So definitely this is not a gossip talk. I'm talking as a scientist. And even if it's this for entertainment purpose, like we should really listen this carefully. Even if it's a blockage of the media, because now I'm not in US and definitely you cannot see me often, and as well it's not it's very hard to get in my live stream. It's not passing through, as you see, from when the war started, even if I'm not in East Europe, but it's not passing through. Whenever I'm outside of a US, literally it's my live stream, it then sucks, even if majority of my YouTube babies are eventually from US. So guys, welcome again to a team. Today we are adding new video to my long playlist, Stop the War, Anti-Globalist Themes, and of course, all the news about the war on the planet Earth these days, all the scandals with the war profiteers. We are going to talk as well, and a little bit of everything connected to the World War Free team. And definitely, again, my playlist is called Stop the War, so we need all to pray. I'm repeating this few times per whenever is this live stream about this as well. I'm repeating Stop the War and pray war to be stopped. And even in other, at the end of any of my live stream that are dedicated to other things, troubles, daily worries. So Rio Tinto, like I said, somebody has asked me the background of Rio Tinto, the history, and it's really a great question because it takes you back to the Rothschild family, of course. Uh, and thank you for asking this because we're bringing again that theory uh, of global elite of uh, darkness that they're bringing wherever they show up, because somehow wherever they show up, people they ask me as well, is it true that uh, Rio Tinto is evil these days wherever they show up? And as well, is it true that the Rothschilds are the founders of the Rio Tinto in between others companies, the biggest powerful companies? Yes, they were. And who has exposed Rio Tinto with this news from yesterday? So I'm going to start that reading about Rio Tinto. I'm going to repeat because I already done the short version, so you may check it, the short version, and hit the like. Guys, please support me so it helps spreading the live stream news and the short versions as well. Help my algorithm in front of YouTube. That's the rule. So let's see. So who were the people who were watching this carrier? Who were the people who were watching the carrier of Rio Tinto radioactive material? Wow, taking an action. Wow, I'm asking, is this coming from a west side, the war profiteers from a west side? Wow, look at the Uncle Sam taking an action. Wow, wow, wow. And it will be exposed. Yes, because Uncle Sam being in charge, wow, and as well, it's going to be exposed, like any lie, like they have done with literally as well, having that obstacle on the bridge, putting on literally putting on fire and killing some people on the bridge to uh, cream, however you pronounce it. Cream should be cream in local language, I do believe, not the English pronunciation. Sorry, guys, it's not England, it's East Europe, there where the news is coming from. So we should read the the name of the toponymous and geographic location, like the local people are reading. And so I studied in any country we should read how the local are reading pronunciation of these geographic terms. So uh, when was this connects me to a story when was staged that explosion of the bridge that connects with Russia, the Crimea, the island, uh, literally, and as well the staged explosion of the gas pipes, the North gas pipes in Baltic Sea. It's literally again stage and stage, and each time is confirming is coming from the. It's literally intervention of the west side to provoke the crisis, to provoke the new crisis zone as well. So the Uncle Sam is manifesting this. Mm. As well. Will the West accuse Putin for this? Just like wow, they want to wow, they want to give it a second chance to provoke more toxicity. They want to hurt more, so many people to involve. Yes, but as well, look at as well. I see that the research will really uh, I see they lacking opportunity because they want somehow they understand that the people are furious and that they are lacking of opportunities to prolong the war. But again, they the secret, but it's a public secret. They want to prolong. They don't want to change status. They want to prolong the war, and uh, I see the public being exposed. Rio Tinto is wow, and everybody knows. Look at yes, all the cars are down. Wow, wow, wow. And I see the first card, the King of Wands, and look at here, the High Priest is like everybody knows, and it's a public thing. Like wow, you're doing this again. You're faking because as well you have done so many bad things. Nine of Swords, you have hurted so many times and you're again doing to us you're again hurting the environment around the planet and you have so many trials being accused of killing the environment of wherever you show up and make a company Rio Tinto bad karma and like it's too late it's bad karma you cannot jungle this time as well. Wow, who was manipulative. Guys, just to remind you, if you ask yourself on which side is Rio Tinto on the start of the war last year, when the end of the February started the war 2022, Rio Tinto literally immediately was pushed from World War IV, right from the west side, to take a stance. So they literally make official statement that we have nothing to do we are canceling all the contracts, negotiations with whatever we were dealing in finance with the business with Russia. And this manipulation that now they want to because of this betrayal to accuse the opponent but eventually it's manifesting the Uncle Sam like all the war is manifesting NATO and the west side it's so obvious and because these are the war profiteers that they want to continue the cycle of suffering and putting into the debts all these countries is so simple in geopolitics you just learn whenever some new power when there is a new power struggle in collision and the literally the confrontation of the power countries it's becoming like the conflict of them is becoming unbearable, they always find to sacrifice somebody else and to provoke, literally to provoke, literally as small countries, puppets of the World Economic Forum. I mean, even when you hashtag on Twitter, I hashtag this and you show up like a bunch of news, like who are the puppets or World Economic Forum? The countries that they just say yes the war, that they want to prolong the war, the suffering of the simple common people in any country, and of course, torturing and suffering of Russia and Ukraine citizens, of course. Uh, Again, let me just hold on. The rest of the cards are down. It's like totally explosion of the cards because it's faking. Look at the other. Wow, it's faking. It's fake news. Did I say the first one? Yes. It's like, wow, look at this manipulation. It's just a fake news. And I opened these cards literally in a short version before I started the live stream. And you already have it. Just do it, check, guys. Just check now on my TikTok, the same ID like on YouTube as well. Check here. It's already downloaded because definitely the public secret they don't want war to stop. They want this suffering and their own income to prolong with the war profiteering. And that's the pure strategy. Yes, yes, yes. But this faking is going to be exposed this time. So. Second. So let me just do one more. Short version, guys. So you can see the position of the cards once again. Is this intervenance of the... No, it's not good. Hit cut. Sorry, guys. Is it the scandal of Rio Tinto lost radioactive material in West Australia right now? Intervention of West Side, Uncle Sam. Yes, it is. And it will be exposed. Everybody think the same, that this is a public secret. Literally, they don't want to change. They want to continue the war profiteers, the suffering, and that's their pure strategy, not to change, to be deep in the war and to accuse the opponent, the Russia side. But look at guys, like it's fake news and they will be exposed. Like before in Crimea bridge explosion, there was intervention on the west side as well on North Pipe. So shame of you that war profit is prolonging the war. Lost radioactive material in West Australia, like intervention of West side of them. Yes, it is. And it will be exposed. Everybody think the same. This is a public secret literally. They don't want to change. They want to continue to disrupt the war profiteers, the suffering, and that's their true strategy. Want to change, to be deep in the war and to accuse the opponent, the Russian side. But look at guys, like it's fake news and they... Is this conspiracy? I'm going to harsh a conspiracy, but this is not a conspiracy. Like I'm insulting the investigation of these all theorists of the truth. So that's the first question, Rio Tinto. Let's see. Let's see the next one. So we go back to Zelensky and we check up. Is it the truth that the Zelensky wife has made that great shopping spree, 40,000 shopping spree? Imagine that thing in Paris. How sick is this while her country is literally suffering with no food, with no electricity, with no heat? Is this a moral thing to do? Olena, Kiyashko, Zelenska. So we go story of Olena. So here it is, question about her. Olena Zelenska, Ukrainian architect, screenwriter. Yes, she can be everything. She can write a screenwrite about her fake marriage and the real war. She will be a screenwriter for her own fake marriage in future. That's what I see, a Hollywood production by Olena Zelenska. Will Olena Zelenska will be a production? Yes, she's going to relocate, guys. It's true. I'm like, wow, my cards are literally bursting out. Yes, it's a work. It's a business related. Yes, she's literally the lady is literally paid from the West as well. She's spending the money and she's going to relocate, of course. 1 second, guys. Wow, so many cards. It's so funny whenever I have some the spirit is with me. Whenever I have some dramatical news. Wow, Ten of Pentacles. Wow, wow, wow. Ten of Pentacles. Everything is a business and give me the cash. As well, I'm leaving. I'm going to leave and I'm paid from abroad. So how the it's not smart in the middle of the war, Olena, to spend the money while people they don't have houses, they don't have water at all to drink, they don't have water, hot water to have a shower, they don't have a hot gas for heating the houses when it's minus 50 there in Ukraine, I'm guessing. And when here is about minus 10 in South Europe, probably is minus 50, getting its average minus 20. And Olena, you went to Paris in the middle of the war, you're spending 40,000 with the private jet. Wow, that's a political shopping, right? I have already predicted, and this is confirmation of my old prediction on the start of the war, that on the start, Olena, guys, I'm talking about my old prediction now. On the start of the first days of the intervention, uh, I said that Olena on the start was really scared because first 3 days of the war there was not official word reaction, and they were scared they are going to be little run off of course, run off uh, and imprisoned from Russian side, and Olena was so scared. On the start of the war, she begged her husband uh, for literally escaping. She was not ready. That's the real thing. And you can see in my readings before, she was not ready. As well, there is a saying that she's already living abroad. She's not even nowhere publicly, uh, and everything that is staged. As well, there is a saying that with that hologram studio of Mr. President Volodymyr Zelensky, that he is not even there in Ukraine. That's another thing. We are going there later on. But Olena and her family, like they have Alexandra and Kirilo, two. So they have two children, right? So she was literally begging, asking her husband. She was in a panic on the start of the war, and she she was literally asked to leave the country with the children, and like he's going to handle that mess, and she should wait for him abroad, like you have a classical action crime movie, and the criminal guy asking his chick, wait for me on this island and see you there. I'm going to bring the cash after a robbery. That's what it is here. That's what is happening here. And I don't have a comment for her shopping, but he's already rejected because whatever they're doing, it's a result of whatever. Now it's getting public, whatever they were doing in the past time, and that's the result. And the people are going to take an action. I see action being taken here, like literally like in happening in Romania, in South Europe, literally down from Ukraine, Romania in between, guys in between. Uh, Up on the north is Ukraine, down is Bulgaria. On the east side from Romania is Hungary and Serbia, ex Yugoslavia. And it's on the border, it's like a Balkan country, it's considering Balkan South European country. Um, uh, but I must say they were the part of the story of the East European countries under the East Bloc, right? Like we had here NATO bloc on the west side where we are, and eventually now when I'm in the south Europe, like I'm in the middle, like I'm in a neutral zone. Yes, that's correct. And uh, Romanian president couple Ceausescu, literally everybody is spreading the story like having a vision. So many people were literally talking prediction that Zelensky couple were going to finish like Romanian presidential couple. Yes, that they are going to be literally taken an action. The citizens, the local citizens are going to take an action, being furious on, and they will want to stop. They will want to stop, and everybody, of course, everybody need a peace. And this guy is repeating every day, not being ashamed to be daring to say in front of everybody, "I'm rejecting the negotiation for." I like it's It's literally amoral, totally bad karma, totally satanistic energy. Again, whatever they were doing, the results of their material greediness and everything is a business and a Hollywood production with the proxy war, it's going to hit on them. Uh, Again, one second. On the start of the war, I said like first 3 days when there was that silence and people were shocked, is this really happening? and there was still no support of other countries. And uh, the third day, uh, was Zelensky was I said that he will ask the first day of war intervention. I said that it will take only 3 days when Zelensky will, in a reading about Zelensky, I said that Zelensky will ask after 3 days negotiation. But at that phase, like NATO and US, they didn't make an official statement. They were just doing it quietly. They paid the guy, and he's doing his own job. And they were still being just not daring. And the third day, in that silence of the West, not having support of the West, the third day of the intervention, Zelensky started to cry. Yes, you can check it. It's like it's on internet. I don't know, maybe it's deleted, but it was there these days for the the third day. Zelensky was that the only time that he asked for negotiation when it started the intervention of the Russian forces in the middle of their own ex-country. Because just to remind you, Ukraine was belonging to Russia till 2014 and was still just an independent under the rules of the peace, and that I do believe was a Minsk, was a city, Minsk city, where they were doing that negotiation. And in that statement, one of the rules were as well that they shouldn't uh, be on the side of NATO. They shouldn't do anything against the local citizens of the Russian and other nations, etc., etc. And they were doing all these things all these years, starting from the first year, the May famous festival, Maidan, first year, first days of this country was literally that blood taken. It's totally satanistic the way this country started to exist. As well, astrological aspect, you can just check, go and check astrologically looking the date of the birth of this country, the puppet country of the NATO, literally, and US. Ukraine is not going to last. That's what the numerology and numerology and astrology is talking about. And yes, that's what American astrologers are talking about. I didn't check the East one. I don't know Russian. Like I know few words. I'm following the US astrologist and European one. My colleagues by myself. Yes, my personal friends, at least 5 to 10 of them, and the Indian friends as well, because I studied 1 year as well in India. And will Zelensky wife Olena, again, this is still opening about her, with will Olena Zelensky be imprisoned from Russia? Teamwork. No, she will. She will be literally pulled out uh, from the alliance. Yes. Revisiting. She's going to hide behind the friends of this war profiteer. Will be canceling. Will Olena lose all the material possessions? Yes. But is Olena Zelensky going to use the hidden money abroad? I see it will be totally penniless because the Ukraine country, the new Ukraine local authorities will cancel. This is a penniless card. Imagine, guys, we are canceling. Okay, you're traveling, but as well we are canceling your because you were using the resource that were public thing, and it will be the proof. It will be the proof that these are the material greedy. people. There's are all cards of the pentacle. I don't see emotions here in the reading. When I open, when I open Putin, I see um, King of Cups wanted to save the country like a father protective towards all all the citizens, not just Russia, because Russia was always a multi-national country like US, just a different politics, okay, communistic orientation in the start, but guys, it was always a multi-ethnical country, like was ex-Yugoslavia, the Soviet Union. Ex-Soviet Union was a multi-ethnical country, and they were both living together. And who provoked to separate and cut the ex-Soviet Union was eventually the president paid off again from a west side, literally who? Gorbachev. And there was my reading about the Gorbachev. So you can check that one as well. The guy who literally split up the Soviet Union, the last president of Soviet Union. Will Olena Zelensky will be alive abroad? Wow. Like a home rescue? It will be like a home rescue, guys. Yes. Home prison, staying at home, running away, but not inside of her. Her her trick will be that she's going to run away to her friends. They are supporting them now in the war, where in US, and she will be literally afraid of the action of her country, not the Russian side, of her country, furious people. And she's going to stay in a home, feel like imprisonment. Yes, home prison. That's your karma because you betrayed us. Yes, the karma is a bitch. When you were the bitch, now the karma will be the bitch. Will Zelensky couple fake their own death before leaving the country? I'm going to ask that because remember where there is a story about Hitler that he was eventually not. Remember the story? It's again a conspiracy theory, but it was proven that Hitler was alive and not executed. Hitler, somebody else instead of him, of course, in Berlin or wherever he was at that point, but as well that he was living another decade in South America. Like all the Nazis, they ran away from every country, they ran away to South America. Uh, And I'm going to ask that question: will there be a staged staged death? Because it's taking me there this time. It's really taking me there, guys. Sorry that I'm interrupting my channeling because it's literally taking me there. I'm putting the timestamp for you. So I see it taking me there. Like, do check, guys. So there is a betrayal, and I have to leave the home. So I'm running from these furious people that they want to literally publicly execute me. I'm running from execution of the public 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 enemy of Ukraine, and I'm running towards my friends, but somehow I'm inside of the home. I'm inside of the home, and definitely I'm not free, even if I escape my destiny in my country. So definitely they're going to lose all the privilege and the money that they are using right now, uh, for whatever they were paid during the election, and now on a position and during the war, to the rest of the days of the war. I just heard like that, rest of the days of the war, and it's finished. Finished. I have heard card few times. It's finished because you betrayed us. You didn't do the things for our own, for you didn't do the things for a patriot, as a patriot, and that was your purpose as a president of country, and that's why we prefer now to have an action for these traitors, the president couple traitors, because of all these material reasons. You're going to see the position of the cards. I'm going to do short version of this as well, of course. And we're releasing you. You broken the promise. Yes, it's a betrayal. Wow. And I'm sending my wife to our friends, right? She's not there. Did I just say she's not, like literally? Olena, I see her being abroad, literally being abroad from the start of the war. So, few times repeating, I'm going to ask again. Is Olena Zelensky wife, Olena Zelensky wife and children abroad from the start of the war? Yes, look at, there is literally somebody who is playing her role, of course. And the media will expose this. Olena. Did Olena left Ukraine from the start of the war? Look at, guys. Yes, look, travel to avoid the death because it's come reverse, not to be as well a victim of the war, reverse death, not to be a victim of the war. She traveled. Again, it's repeating. Like I done this reading the first day of the war, and it's repeating. So she's not there, and yes, she's spending this money. And there is this double president wife there, and the media will talk about this. Of course, the media will expose, and will there be staged death of Zelensky president? Look at rejected. Wow. Zelensky destiny. So I'm talking now about that part, about Zelensky. First was about Olena, the wife, and now about Vladimir Zelensky. Volodymyr. Will Zelensky stage his death? Secret. Secret, because he doesn't want to have obligation. Of course, he is a chicken shit. That's what we said from his aura. Yes. And he's really a material greedy, really a low morality person, even by American astrologers. Yes, you can check. Robert Phoenix, Sloan Bella was talking about this. I think even Levy, what is his name? Oh my god, I don't know the name of the channel. Something like that. Remember this really grown up, experienced astrologers, even Yoni Johnny, the Vedic astrolog American, is talking about this. There is something spooky, there is something trivial, spooky in his chart that we shouldn't trust. The message we shouldn't trust the guy. And here it is. He doesn't want to have obligation. He's just thinking over cash and betraying everything he's going to do. Putana for the cash. I'm going to betray my country just for whatever the aliens want from me because I'm puppet of, I'm Putana, professional political prostitute. That I'm going to sell out my country. And look at that will be a secret. He doesn't want to have obligation, but at well, I see that whatever he's going to do, look at the order of cards. Like, wow. First he reject to die, and the people will expose him. Like, wow, even Hitler was exposed, whatever he done. And again, sorry, this is not the Second World War. Even if we are dealing with the same trolling, satanistic energy of the evil that is torturing and doing the genocide from 2014 till now in the middle of Europe, in Ukraine, that they are torturing their Russians, pro-Russian people, or people who are against the war. Like, and yes, he's so selfish that he's going to secretly to sacrifice somebody else, and he doesn't want to have obligation to be in front of the public to tell his story, that because he know he is wrong. He's just selfish, material greedy, and he knows that he's responsible, and he cannot as well explain all these bills, expenses as well. The personal material greediness as well, the personal secret bank. So everything is prepared, like even the way he's going to finish, uh, pull himself out of this war, because they have literally, when they make this war pre-planned, they have pre-planned the start, but they have as well, they have pre-planned the war profiteers, they have pre-planned the end of the war. So they have prepared him to secretly depart. Look at not having obligation. And 1 second, I'm going to ask more. Will so this will be a staged death of Zelensky? Yes. As well, this is a card of a new person, as you see, who will be rejected. This is somebody. I had two times a card of rejection. Look at in the first deck, in the second, he will be rejected from his own citizens because they will be fed up with the war, and he's going little. He has pre-planned that gate to run away, and this is a totally a new person. Look at this is somebody who will be a new person secretly instead of him being sacrificed. But he will be gone free, doing his thing. Seven of Wands and Nine of Pentacle, running secretly, running with the Moon card, and Ace of Pentacle, another person. Will that be another person sacrificed instead of Zelensky? Yes, look at the trickster. But this trickster, it will work shortly because Queen wants something that she takes selfishly just what she wants. Yes, the another person will be sacrificed for his own personal greediness. That's what the Queen of Wands is doing. But as well, it will be exposed because people will understand what's happening behind the scene. And let me see more. Sorry, guys. Let me see more. So we had Olena Zelenska, the wife of President Zelensky. Then we have the Zelensky president story, their material greediness here. And The question somebody sent me: Will Biden stop sending? Will Biden stop sending support to Zelensky this year? Is again look at star card. Is that answer yes? Probably yes. Will Will Biden stop sending support to Zelensky this year? Yes, because he's, as well as you see, will be exposed, and he will have to say sorry to a nation because he's bringing as well. There will be this exposing his uh, again a family account, and again I guessing this goes to a Biden son as well. Look at. So this star of this fake material family of Biden has to be as well again exposed because they tried, but it was not enough. And the last card is here world. Yes, want the truth, Queen of Swords. So world want the truth, and the world and this fake war literally will be the real war profiteers who provoked the war will be literally exposed through the media. How the war started as a proxy war, like promoting the evil, promoting uh, from the fake angle of the justice, like Ukraine, let's protect Ukraine and Zelensky. Instead, nobody was all the time they're blocked, and probably this one will be very hard to get this opening and this window, this live stream as you see. Like thank you for hitting the like this live stream, it's as you see, it's not even live stream because yes, this team they don't like this team. And that's a really example. Just click on my balloon for live chat and you will see what is the blockage of the media. When they don't like what you are talking about as a scientist and as entertainer, uh, they don't like, they are cultural intolerant for opinion of others, including me. And as well, does the evil want to block the promotion of the speech of the other club, the club of the good, the club of the angels? That's what we are. We are all earth angels if we want to stop the war. And if we are the war, if we are against the war and the earth angels, this charade of the fake war has to stop. And I see it's not stopping toward the end of the year, but I see the truth totally all the time releasing the new every day, the truth, the new things, new growth details. Unfortunately, that people all over the world, again, first apology to are real victims inside of Ukraine territory. The people who were tortured, the war prisoners, the people under the bomb attacks. I apology to people who were living now full 9 years before the war started, 8 years fully living from 2014 in a gray zone uh, on west side of Ukraine, where is now the biggest battles in these four republics. Uh, and I'm trying to apologize instead of the war profiteers of the West that they sacrificed for 8 and now full 9 years, with 1 year being in the war. Uh, they sacrificed these four republics of the west side of Ukraine, and all the pro-Russian and all the Russians inside. They don't have electricity 8 years now, 9 years. They don't have electricity. They don't have a water. The all the schools they were on daily basis hidden by the tanks, by the weapons of local Ukraine army when was still a peace in this fake marionette country because they were paid to do this. Their position was to attack the villages in these four republics, and that's what is a gray zone. And that's why you have to push your limits and Google the gray zone because there is a documentary about the gray zone of Donbass. Yes, it's a documentary that done the somebody who is from a west side, but it's done documentary for the Russian TV. But this is a person I do believe it's a British guy that the guy is from UK. So the British guy done this movie. So yes, it's not a fake Russian production. It's a real deal. It's talking with the simple people living in suffering. It's talking with the victims which families are members were literally tortured, killed, executed, and talking with the children that they don't have a schools 8 9 years. Like this is like literally they disabled this nation with over the decade, right, with this interference into the literally taking off this ex-Russian republic because these people were having education, they were having their own standard of life, whatever it was, and literally everything because of the material greediness of the few tycoons and greedy politicians. And same happened in ex-Yugoslavia with story about all cutting all the republics and now the hitting again all the time hitting the Kosovo thing. And frankly, me being a Greek ex-Yugoslavian mix, like we don't like this aggressivity of Albanians in Kosovo. We don't like that they were bombing the Serbia, and we compare the intellectual people in Europe. We compare. We were having the protests in the middle of the Europe when was the bombing of Serbia for 3 months in 1999, and I was a volunteer as well there. And I can tell what is this being a victim in the war, and I can tell what is the suffering. That's why every day I ask you to pray for the victims of the war and war to stop. And all this charade of all these greedy Zelensky couple working just being for their material greediness and will be exposed as really betraying their own country. So I'm going to stop here. This will be as well the short version of this. So don't forget to hit a short like for short versions as well and share with your community. All my playlists, Stop War and Justice will be served. And guys, please do pray that whoever is now suffering in being a prisoner of Nazi Ukraine not to suffer, not to be tortured, as well the on a daily basis people who are tortured just for their opinion, being just fed up with this war. They don't want to have a war with Russia. They don't care about Russia, but they don't want to be in war with anybody. They want to live in a peace. They don't want to have a war that the politicians are promoting for their own personal greediness. And there are as well tortured, beaten publicly in front of others. There was so many videos even on TikTok, like adult middle-aged woman was beaten in metro, talking about the peace and they don't want to have a war with Russia. They want to stop with the war, and literally some guy was literally attacking her for this. And in this manner, this Nazist bulleting, evil, torturing um, energy that just provokes the torturing, the pain, and the death is repeating any global war. First World War, remember suffering of First World War? I remember my grandparents were crossing, walking, being a generals in the war and bringing the victory. Yes, crucial victories for the alliance with West. And again, uh, Second World War, Nazis again, and who hit again the ball. The crucial battles were always coming from the ex-Yugoslavia, Serbian royalty, army serving for others for global victory of the good, and as well the Russians were coming and they took off Berlin, if you remember. Who was taking the flag of Reich of German Nazis down? The Russians were doing this. So these are the facts that we cannot run away. And why are we supporting now the evil? I must say, because like we are in the middle of the Europe and we are in the middle of US, and why are we supporting the evil and the mainstream news? Because sorry, it's a bad karma if we are supporting this torturing somewhere in somebody's else country, uh, and karma is already hitting on us, decaying West, decaying Europe economically from the start of the war last year, like in my Greece, in Italy, that's where I was frequently going in 2022. Immediately there were the change of the elementary food costs, and of course later on turned to a gas crisis, right? And it's hitting hard all over the planet. And whoever was provoking the war, unfortunately, these countries will suffer at the most because of their richy war profiter elite. Because of a few crazy, greedy, richy people in any country, does the majority of people have to suffer? I'm just asking you. And that's why I have I'm a CEO of the Center for Promoting the Culture of Peace, and that's why I'm in literally working as a humanitarian in many war zones for last 25 years. So let's stop the war, guys, by praying and using the power of love, and let's not promote the war profiteers. Let's expose the war profiteers. And this was a reading about the war profiteers greediness. And guys, let the justice will be served. Peace and love, and check out the rest of the playlist. Stop the War, Rest of the Widows, as well on the other playlist, Justice Will Be Served. And don't forget to hit the like and subscribe and put a label for the next one.